Lesson 15.2, Task 5. Multiply polynomials. A stone border is being built around a rectangular rose bed as shown. The width of the border is the same on all sides of the rose bed. Write a polynomial for the combined area of the rose bed and the stone border. What is the combined area when the stone border has a width of 1.5 feet? All right, so you can see this here is labeled as X. This is labeled as X as well. But we do have a stone border on all four sides of this rose bed. So that means this would also be X, and this would also be X as well. Remember, perimeter is 2 times your length and 2 times your width, because you got 2 sides that are your length and 2 sides that are your width. Okay, so it says the width of the border is the same on all sides, so we know it's going to be X all the way around. All right, so it says write a polynomial for the combined area. All right, so what does 5 plus 2x represent? So 5 plus 2x, remember there are 2 sides that are considered your length and your width. So it says the length of the rectangular formed by the rose bed, the perimeter of the large rectangle, the length of the rectangular formed by the rose bed, and the stone border. All right, so it's going to be the length plus the border, because remember the 2x represents the length also on the border. All right, so what does 4 plus 2x represent? So that's going to be your width, and again, you're going to have x on both sides to represent the stone border. So the width of the rectangular formed by the rose bed, the perimeter of the large rectangle, the width of the rectangle formed by the rose bed, and the stone border. Again, it's the stone border is included. That's what the 2x represents. All right, so it says the total area, 5 plus 2x times 4 plus 2x. So we would multiply those together. So you do 5 times everything in this parentheses, and then 2x times everything in this parentheses. That's called distributive property. So step 2, they're rewriting that using distributive property. So 5 times 4 is 20, 5 times 2x is 10x, 2x times 4 is 8x, and 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Okay, they did not write this in standard form, which I would have written as 4x squared plus 18x plus 20, but all they did was combine the middle terms and bring everything else down. Okay, this is the total area. It's just not written in standard form. All right, so it says find the combined area when x equals 1.5. Okay, so we're going to assume that the stone border, that's your x, we're going to assume that this border is 1.5. So all we have to do is substitute that for our x. So we're going to substitute it for x here and here. So remember, you do exponents first, order of operations. So 1.5 squared times 4 plus 18 times 1.5 plus 20. I kind of did that backwards, but again, I'm used to having things in standard form, so I usually work with my exponents first. But if you type this in your calculator, it's going to give you 56. And that is 56 square feet because we are talking about area. All right, so it says explain why it's in square feet. Again, if you look at the picture, okay, we're doing length times width, and so that's going to be in square feet. So feet times feet would be feet squared, okay? All right. That is all for task 5. If you have any questions, let me know. Lesson 15.2, task 6. Multiply polynomials. A cube has an edge length of x feet. The edge lengths are increased to create a rectangular prism shown. What is the volume of the prism? What polynomial represents the increase in volume? All right, so here is an image of this rectangular prism, and they're showing you it is length times width times height. So length times width represents the base, and then you multiply by height to get this three-dimensional shape here. All right, so it says find the volume. So first they're going to find the base. All right, so let's go ahead, even though this is worked out, let's kind of do this here together. All right, so you've got, remember, volume equals length times width times height. And area of a rectangle is length times width. So we're going to start with two things here. We're going to find the area of the base, which is the length and the width. So we're going to have area of the base. We're just going to do x plus 2 times x plus 3. So I've got x plus 2 times x plus 3. And to do this, we can do distributive property. So we're going to do x times x plus 3. And then we're going to do 2 times x plus 3. And that's just distributive property. Again, if you want to use the table, you are welcome to do so. So we've got x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x plus 2x. And then plus 6. And then we combined our like terms, so we've got x squared plus 5x plus 6. So you can see we found the volume of just the base. So all we've done so far is find basically this area of length times width. So what we want to do, well, let's answer the questions first. But to find the volume, we have to also multiply by x plus 1. So we're going to take the length and width that we've multiplied, and then we're also going to multiply that by x plus 1. Okay, so when we do this, that's length times width times height, and that will give us the volume of this rectangular prism. So actually, I was going to answer the questions first, but let's go ahead and find the whole volume. So we're going to do x times x squared plus 5x plus 6. And then we're going to do plus 1 times x squared plus 5x plus 6. All right, so we're going to have x times x squared is x cubed plus 5x squared. X times 6 is 6x. And then plus 1 times anything is just it. So basically, I'm bringing all of these down again. And then I have to combine like terms. So I'm going to have x cubed. I've got 5x squared and 1x squared. 5 plus 1 makes 6x squared. That's a 2. So I've got 6x plus 5x. 6 and 5 give me 11x. That's here. And then plus 6. So the volume is here. So this equals, I'm just going to put the V on this side. It doesn't matter. All right, so when I found this first part here, this was the area of the base. And then I brought in the height, and when I brought in the height, that gives us the volume. All right, let's see what questions they have for us. All right, so question A, choose the correct words to complete the statements. The factor x plus 2 in the area of base calculation represents the blank as a rectangular base. X plus 2, you can see, represents the width. The factor x plus 3 represents the length. All right, so to find the volume, they did the same thing. They took the base and then they multiplied it by the height, which is what I did right here. And then they combined like terms and simplified and got x cubed plus 6x squared plus 11x plus 6 for the volume. So that was the same thing that we got. All right, so it says choose the correct words to complete this statement. The factors x plus 2 plus 5x plus 6 represents, that right here represented the base. Nope, that's the area of the rectangular base, because that is, when it's two-dimensional, it's area. Three-dimensional is volume. All right, so it says the expression x plus blank is the height of the prism. So if you go back to the top, you can see the height is x plus 1. So this is x plus 1. And then it says find the increase in volume. So the original volume is x cubed. The polynomial that represents the increase in volume is the polynomial for the volume of the prism without the x cubed. All right, so if we take the volume of the polynomial and we subtract the x cubed, the increase in volume is everything else. So the increase would be the 6x squared plus 11x plus 6. And again, if we know that it's going to be 1.5, if x is going to be 1.5, we could plug that in and we'd know exactly how much that is. But just as a polynomial, this part of the expression is the increase. All right, so it says, choose the expression to complete the statement. The original figure is a cube, and its volume is x cubed, cubic feet, because each side length is equal to x. And again, that was given to us in the very beginning. So it says the cube has an edge length of x feet. And then it says the edges are increased to make this rectangular prism. So that was just given information. Sometimes you have to look back to see what you were given. And then again, the increase, which answers the question above, the increase in volume is everything except the x cubed. So it would be the x squared plus 11x plus 6 cubic feet. All right, that's all for task 6. If you have any questions, please let me know.